Hey, what's up, ladies and gentle deucers? That's right, you heard correctly. This one is just for the patrons. So there'll be a little bit extra footage, I guess, if you're interested. This one is just for you guys. I will be releasing the normal one. It might have a little less in it. It might not be as personal. Some speech I may use, but maybe not. Anyway, you guys are getting the special behind the scenes that not everybody gets to see. So anyway, here we are. Like I said, the drone crashed, broke a propeller, and yet it still flew. I tested it right there. This is us going in the beginning of the day. Just threw a cool thing there, and we couldn't find the group. We didn't know where they were, and so we were just kind of riding around aimlessly. Here we are finally getting going, but here's the status.
All right, so here's the status update. I'm riding the 450X. Gabe's trying the 290 today over there. We've been waiting like probably around 360,000 hours for everybody. But we're finally here, we're finally getting on the trail. It's gonna be a good time. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. The temperature is perfect, nice and overcast. Just feels really good. Got the whole crew ready to go. And I don't know where everybody's going. I thought the entrance was back there, but I haven't been on it for so long. Yeah, should be good.
All right, so this is Kurt's camera, and as you can see, everybody's brapping around. But basically, we waited there in the heat for about 3 hours. I actually just laid down in front of the restroom where there was some shade, because there's not a lot of shade out here. Anyway, that's Kalani, accidental broadcast right there. Anyway, yeah, we're just hanging in the shade because it was hot.
All right, so here we are on Fins and Things with 16 motorcycles. See how this thing lugs in second. First is great.
So on flat ground, first was pretty good, but you know, I'll have problems with it later. Anyway, here's Kurt's camera again. There's Kalani, you can see, and the guy on the DRZ, his name was Brandon. And then the guy on the stock WR250R, his name was Curtis. So there was two Kurts, which is cool. Anyway, this is Kurt's camera. He's got the Sony X3000, which is such a good camera. And he'll actually end up eating it pretty hard here fairly soon. Oh wait, that's my camera.
Oh.
I'm also riding with the
This part
X3000.
right here, last time we did this trail, nobody dared to do it. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And then we went down it and everybody was fine, and it was like not a big deal.
So here's Gabe's frickin' Jim's view of it. And on the camera it looks way less intimidating than it is. Here's the rear view of that same one. It is sketchy, but it's not that bad. You could easily do it. Anyway, so yeah, this is Curtis in front of me there, and there is Brandon. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're just cruising along. Fins and Things is a pretty good trail. The first of it is really quite rocky, and there's a lot of sand as well. Kind of beats you up a little bit. I think the second section is actually better, and you can actually skip the first part of the trail pretty soon there. Here's another view of that same little slide out there from Kalani. It's pretty cool, and then there's the rear view, which it looks so much less dramatic
And I'm already
in
hot.
the rear view.
I'm already hot.
This is Kurt here.
I give up.
It's Kalani up the face, and then I like to get right behind people and follow them up obstacles so I can get them on the camera. But this time it didn't work so good, and this was kind of the first technical thing. You can see I was rolling along fine there. I had the clutch in, and it just killed out. So, you know, the Honda was not working perfectly yet. It's still a great bike, but just wasn't working well. Then it has the hardest time starting when it's hot. I don't know what the deal is. Need to contact Damon and see what's going on. It's Brandon with an atypical laydown. And I was a total jerk this ride, because I as I looked through the footage, I realized that I didn't.
How's that back tire feeling?
I didn't stop and help anybody, which was really jerky when they fell. But there was a lot of people, and anyway, but it still felt jerky. I should have stopped and helped people. But yeah, you can see this first part of Fins and Things is just nasty. It's just really, really nasty. So yeah, there are a lot of fun little things to kind of wrap off of and whatnot. But a lot of like sharp rocks in the sand as well. So tough on the
it's
suspension.
always funny because in a big group like this, you want to be like polite, not pass anybody.
There's another obstacle. Oh, there's Kurt going down on the left there. He just has a tough time because he's just not tall. I mean, everybody else can cheat, like I said earlier. So here is where the trail splits, and it actually gets back onto Sand Flats Road here. It's just a look at other people hanging out. But yeah, this is Sand Flats Road. It's the main one that you come in on, where you pay your money and everything like that. But honestly, guys, I think it's like $2 or $3 for a motorcycle to go through. And if you're ever in Moab, it's so worth going there and paying a couple of bucks. That's money that I don't mind paying because I think it's, you know, it's enough to keep, you know, most just people out of there. But it's still a really good time. So it's worth paying.
He's a flying guy. He flies so high in the sky. I hope he doesn't die. My name is Ty.
I am a huge nerd. Oh, anyway, I love shots like that where people are just nice and close or they just come right by the camera. Here's another one of them. Just when things are close like that, it looks so good because you can see all the details, especially on those Sony cameras. Just really nice. Now here is...
oh, it's Damon again.
Damon again. This is the second part of Fins and Things.
Mr. Duff Actor. Riding a Honda? What?
And again, I want to show kind of the typical stuff here. Usually I cut out any vehicles that aren't motorcycles, but, you know, there's a dude there. There's just a lot of traffic on these trails. It is cheap to get into, and you know what? It would be fun for a four-wheeled vehicle, so...
Oh, bad place to stop.
Yeah, a close one there. Anyway, I don't know what got into me, but this little part right here, I had a lot of fun. Just cruising through. This is a fun trail. The second part especially, I have a lot more fun on. But there's so many things just to kind of wheelie off of and just kind of blip your front tire over. It's really, really a good time. And then here I caught up to Kurt. And as always, I love following Kurt.
Kurt in my sights. A minute stop to motovlogging. But he started making watch videos. They're pretty good, you should check them out. I like his motorcycle videos, but the watch videos, you still get the Kurt goodness. All that delicious Kurt goodness for half the price.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of little, you know, natural jumps if you want to hit them. But there's also a lot of, you know, a lot of that sharp stuff. And then a lot of the trail is just kind of these sandy berms. And it's funny because you can either just go straight or you can like cut across like a jerk, like I was doing. Because it is really fun to go on the berms, but if somebody's trying to go fast, you can just blow through and just go straight through them. You no need to go on the berms.
Kurt is launching off of all the things and all the fins.
So yeah, I need to get a lot better at doing these turns. I was trying some of the techniques that Gabe taught to me
How
earlier.
to blow a berm by eveRide. How to hit a sharp rock and get sketchy by eveRide. Check it out at your local Barnes & Noble.
I don't know who I'm even talking to, but anyway, for those turns there, I was trying some, I love high fives. I don't know why I always like recording the high fives. It's just kind of that human element. Anyway, here's Gibbs' view, but you know, going through the berms, I was trying to, you know, follow Gabe's advice and, you know, kind of lean my butt over the seat, stay upright.
How's that back tire feeling?
Oh yeah, you can see it just totally flat, but he's cruising through, and this is really rocky right here too. Anyway, yeah, so you get your foot out. I'll make a video on it
That's a
soon.
big drop.
But you get your foot out, and your other foot, your outside foot, actually pushes against the peg. So you don't weight the peg on the inside. You actually
Man,
take all your weight off that peg.
I'm not sure if I'm having a good time right now.
Yeah, that stuff really generates some arm pump. And then, you know, to add a little insult to injury, there's the whoops. That shows you just how smooth that Sony camera is, because those whoops are fairly large, and I'm hitting them. And, you know, everything stays pretty stabilized. I love that camera. So this gets pretty rocky right here. Actually, back there is what I just went off was where Kurt crashed. It's pretty gnarly when he crashes. Yeah, this is kind of a cool trail to work on line selection. So you're cruising through, you know, you've got lots of rocks and lots of sand and lots of little obstacles. Obviously, the camera doesn't show the severity of some of these rocks, because some of them really protrude out. You see Gabe right there bounce around pretty high. But you know, picking lines, picking the right line will actually make you faster, which is pretty cool. Here's some of those sandy berms again. Those things are really, really fun, but I definitely need to get back better at them. Here's some more Jeep traffic. Just keeping it real on the raw ones here. A little bit of roost from Gabe there. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of tricky lines and things like that. So,
Thank goodness for blockbusters.
And there's a lot of little ridges that.
Using that traction to the advantage there.
Those ridges will either like take you out or not. Oh, here goes Kurt.
I went down. This arm feels like it's torn. Wait, I can't even freaking.
All right, so this is where Damon is kind of magic. Damon is actually the one riding right here, and yet he was up just barely helping Kurt, and so I'm not really sure how he got down to us while he was still helping Kurt. It's a little bit weird. I know we were waiting there for a while, but I don't think we were waiting long enough for Damon to come back and then go back to Kurt. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, I guess he had to have been there to know that Kurt was hurt. I thought that they were just on the Cena, and that's kind of how he knew. But it is funny because you could see how nasty some of those rocks and things were. And yet, when you're looking overhead from the drone, it just looks so mellow. Like, you know, Damon's got to slow down for some of these gnarlier rock hits and going through these berms. Oh, it's just such good footage. I love it. Anyway, up here I had to click it into sport mode so I could get after him. That's kind of tricky when you're using a drone. There's a lot of factors to consider. One of the most difficult parts about filming with a drone is that all the footage is good, and I've already talked about this in a patron-only video. But the filming is all really good, so you're not quite sure which shots that you should use. Oh, here I am flipping it into sport mode. Now I can finally keep up with him. I mean, that stuff is really rough, and the berms should really slow him down. But going normal speeds, I just couldn't keep up with him. But anyway, so it is tough to try to decide what to use in the video, because it used to be that drone batteries didn't last very long and you couldn't see what you were filming. And so you just kind of fly it and hope that you'd get something good. Now the problem is with the newer drones is you can see pretty well what you're filming. It's a small screen, but you can see what you're filming. And so you tend to get a lot of really good footage, and it's almost difficult to cut it all out because it looks so good. Anyway, here's Kurt after he got pretty messed up, and yet he's still riding around. And
I'm just like so sore right now after that crash. My arm is on fire, my ankle's on fire.
But he continues to brap.
You okay though? It's not that bad of a trail.
He's a trooper. It is that bad of a trail. It wears you out. It would be not fun if you were injured. He's still like doing wheelies and stuff up over the rocks.
You all right, man?
Nah, I'm all hurt.
Shoot. Which side?
Yes.
Side, right side, all the sides.
My ankle is all twisted. This arm's torn. But let's go.
You got some beef jerky?
I know, it fell out of my bag.
You got a gross thing attractive.
I know.
There is a story.
What did you hit?
I went to compress, to wrap, and fistful of handbrake.
Weird how his audio
So I
went all to
Supermaned
the
it off
right
those
here.
jaggedy rocks.
Freaking A.
On camera too, so much beauty. But Kurt is a tough son of a and I don't think anything's that bad.
Anyway, so here is the drone flying back over the thing. I just had it in autopilot flying back to me. But anyway, Kurt is a serious trooper. He got pretty jacked up right there and just kept rolling through. What's funny is he kept saying that the faster he went, the less it hurt. Probably because the body's moving around a lot and you're focusing more on the trail and you're not dwelling on the pain. That's my theory anyway. But yeah, it was... just look at that scenery. I mean, it's just amazing. And it goes to show that there doesn't necessarily have to be a motorcycle in the shot for it to be just a breathtaking shot. Anyway, here's Gabe. He's cruising around, and I think somebody like put a lot of helium in his front tire because he could not keep that thing on the ground. All right, so here is the next shot, and I got up on the hill to film this one, so I got a pretty good long drone sequence here. And kind of what I was saying about drones, like it's really quite difficult to pick a good shot. And then another tricky part is when you're flying the drone, first you got like this expensive thing in the air, which, you know, it's a little bit intimidating. But then you are cruising through. Oh, here I'm going to do an effect up here real quick. You see Kalani and one of the buddies going through. And here, this is the nice part about 4K footage. Is I can just bring that in nice and close on them, and then it snaps back. That's the original 4K size, but it'll go to 1080. There, the jerk is back to the sport mode on the drone, so cruising towards that. And then this shot made it into Why Ride a Motorcycle. Love that shot, just so cool with the landscape. It kind of transitions from, you know, the motorcycle looks great, but the landscape is really a lot. You know, it's why you get out and ride it. The focus moves to the landscape, so I liked that. But anyways, so when you're filming with a drone, you're doing a lot of different things at once. You're trying to, first of all, fly a very expensive machine through the air, and you're trying to compose a shot, and you're trying to direct a shot. And so at the same time, you're trying to keep everybody in the third of the scene. You're trying to make it, and so there's more open space of where people are riding. And that can get kind of tough, actually. And so, you know, a lot of times you have to gauge speed. And so right now I'm trying not to overshoot Kalani and the guy in red there, but I'm having a tough time, so I did. Anyway, this is zoomed into 1080, and it's a completely different shot of Gabe there ripping around some of those corners. But then it backs out right here. They're just doing some whoops, but it backs out right here, and Kalani and the guy in red haven't even started to go, you know, they haven't even gone through that corner yet. That's the power of the 4K footage. That's why I try to shoot in 4K now as much as I possibly can, just because it's better for stabilization. It's better for everything. I just wish it was 4K at 60 frames per second, because the only times that I film in 1080p the reasons why is because I can slow it down to half speed, because it films in 60 frames per second. So not only does it look pretty crisp, but you know, when you slow it down to 30 frames, then you get half speed, and so that, you know, the slow motion effect is pretty cool. So there's Kalani back in the film again. Kurt's been rolling along. This is really quite cool. Will is at the back there. So you kind of have to make an executive decision when you're flying the drone around like that, because you have to say, okay, I can't get everybody in the shot. I have to choose, you know, usually I choose the group that's clumped close together, because that way there's more action in the shot. There's more to be seen. And so here the guy in red's going to let the two go. And so I don't know how long he's going to stop there. And so I choose to go ahead and follow Kalani and Kurt, because I know they're really fun riders. I know Kurt's riding really well, and he's a good guy to follow, because he's not unpredictable. And also, it's really fun to watch him brap off stuff, and it's really fun because he doesn't like to be passed. And so, you know, when Kalani's getting up close, you know, Kurt will kind of sense that, and he'll kind of cut him off, which is, I don't know, I think that's funny. Like right here, just kind of slow at the bush. Kalani's going for the pass. Nope. Oh, I just absolutely love it. Anyway, that's just some nice scenery getting up into the sky there as I put it into return the home mode, because I had no idea where the drone actually was. I was just flying it. My face was down in the camera, in the phone, the screen, looking at the drone, and I did it. So anyway, it's kind of cool because you can speed up those shots, and it makes it look like the drone's going a lot faster.
Standing up actually feels good.
So this is actually Kurt's ride right here. Wow.
I'm still trying to wrap on things even though I'm hurt because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot who doesn't know how to stop doing the things.
He continued with the things. Anyway, yeah, you can see some of the gnarlier stuff that he's going up. It's pretty crazy, but anyway, everybody's kind of... Yeah, this is another one where I'm just a jerk. I looked over. I'm not sure if I saw him or not. I think I was just looking for anybody coming up the path, because I just took off.
Oh, we kind of gotta keep going. Which way is the trail? This is the guy to follow. I'm gonna follow Tyler Kirkham.
It's a good idea.
He knows where to go.
So up on the left, you can see us riding through. I don't know what was going on with Kurt's microphone.
Ankles.
Wasn't doing good though, but
It's actually less sore to go faster.
so here's a little hill, and this kind of defines Kurt right here. He's hurt, but he looks back. He looks back for Will.
And now I'm just gonna cruise it down this hill.
Tells him good job.
Oh, look at this land.
He's focusing on the scenery.
It's so crazy. Wipe off the face.
And then he's thinking of you
The scenery
guys.
is nuts.
But
These guys are behind me.
instead of
Start to go more fast.
yeah, so he's
Oh, this
always
guy.
thinking about other people. You know, the people are behind me, want to go fast. I got to wipe off the lens to make sure you guys can see this. And he's enjoying the scenery instead of there's where he cut off Kalani. So funny. And there's the second time. So anyway, the drone was just up there, you know, to the right of those guys. But right here is where I got a low battery, I think. So I turned it around, came up. That's just random, a shoe in the middle of the trail. Some of the gnarly stuff we went to.
Then you are a monster.
Got to get the fist bump.
Yeah, no, that's there for a reason.
Later?
Yep.
Anyway, there's a story behind that. That he always stores like food there.
Beep,
Like
beep, 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 beep.
he always stores food there. So like he'll have like little dried like peaches or fruit or something, pits of some kind, or jerky, and then he'll store them right there to eat them later. And it's so funny because I always see it and I think it's like a little branch or bit of dust like in there. And so I'll always take it out and like throw it in the dirt. And he's like, man, I was saving that. And I've done that like 3 different times. And so every time he's got something stored there, I'm like, oh, here.
Good to see Kurt rapping again.
I'm like, oh, here, let me get that for you. So I'll like grab it and throw it. And now I'm finally starting to realize if there's something caught up in Kurt's cables, it's usually a snack for him for later. I don't know.
Kurt is rapping right now.
I don't know why he does it, but anyway, it's just kind of a funny thing.
Messed up shoulder, messed up arm, messed up ankle, still rapping.
Yeah, dude, Kurt is a good guy. Kurt's one of my best friends for sure. I'm pretty excited. He's made plans that he's going to move out here. Maybe not to Utah, maybe to Idaho Falls area, or just in Idaho somewhere, which would be great because that means a nice cool summer and he gets the 4 seasons like he likes. Should be really, really cool if he can actually move out here. So anyway, here's Gabe rolling up, and just good laughs.
All right, guys.
Friends.
I'm making an executive decision to continue and ride, even though my ankle is just swelling up probably, and my arm is on fire. We're gonna go do another trail called Slick Rock. We'll be back.
So that's kind of the the guy that Kurt is. You know, he doesn't give up easily. He keeps going. Kurt's actually he's going to lose his job in September. His contract runs out with the company he works for, and so that's kind of why he's thinking about moving. But anyway, he's not giving up. He's going full-fledged on his watch channel, which is really cool. So anyway, here is the entrance to Slick Rock Trail. This is Kurt's camera. That last one was Gabe's camera, obviously. Just cruising in through there. It's kind of crazy because it really is just like right off of the parking lot. You just get in there and start riding. And I really wish that my rear camera was stabilized here because it's so bumpy and so rocky that even if I'm trying to keep my head very still, nice. You kind of do still have to keep your head still in order for the, for the Sony camera to work well. And so even when I'm trying to keep my head still, see, Gabe's front tire is just helium. I don't know, he just lofts on every little thing.
I can get up behind you if you want.
Anyway, this is kind of cool. I was on the Cena with Gabe, and so I was like, Gabe, if you can come up right behind me, you can film me, and I'll get you on my rear camera.
All right.
I didn't realize that Kurt was between us. There's the view from Kurt's camera, Gabe ripping by. Here's the view on the rear camera of Gabe coming at you. So anyway, it's pretty cool. It's cool on the rear camera because I have no idea what's being filmed. And I don't want to be looking behind me and stuff and ruining the shot on my front camera. And so when the rear camera's going, if I'm on the Cena with somebody, I'll beg them to just get as absolutely close as they possibly can get.
All this rock really makes me miss my 230.
The 230 would be a fun bike on this.
This is the 230 playground.
Anyway, Gabe is like the king of that 230. It's a great little bike. And he muscles it around like no problem. Again, the wheelies, he just does them. He can't help himself. But anyway, yeah, so I really want to have people as close as they possibly can be for that rear camera. Otherwise, it's just wasted footage. Here's Gabe going down a really tricky switchback. Kurt's the one with the camera on here. Handle it like a couple of bosses, and the camera lies right there. Here's Gabe's, Gabe was in front. The camera really lies right here. Because that is really, really steep and off camber. And if you were to get off right there, you can see. If you were to come off right there, you would slide down that hill. The bike would slide down the hill. Both would probably be quite a bit damaged. And they'd slide not down the hill the way that your bike goes, but directly down from him. That's sketchy.
Oh, man.
Jeez,
Got
Curtis.
my heart pumping.
Yeah, that was super sketchy. Here's Kalani doing it. And he doesn't have any he doesn't have any problems. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, the downhill of it is not that difficult, but if you were to lose balance and fall off that side, you'd be really, really hurt. I love Kurt's laugh right there. It's just funny.
This is crazy.
I can't imagine what it's like for people who don't live in Utah. It must be like having salt for the first time or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah,
So off camber.
when I'm running two cameras, I like to have people obviously in front and in back of me. That way I'm kind of maximizing the footage that I'm getting, on the cool parts of the trail. So here we have this little crater that's kind of neat.
I see Kalani's bum skin.
And, sometimes it's hard to keep the bum skin covered when you're riding around like that. It's just kind of a fact of life that wearing a backpack and some armor will lift up your shirt. And so the bum skin comes out once in a while. It happens to all of us. Big guys, little guys, doesn't matter. Everybody shows the bum skin. Anyway, I love these shots right here. Put the camera on the ground and just had the guys go by. I believe that is shot in 4K and it looks just really crisp. That'll definitely make it into the final kind of cinematic video. I don't know what Kurt was doing right there with the head bob. It was kind of funny. Here's Gabe coming through a little obstacle there. Love the shot with the tree in the foreground. Here's what it looks like from Kurt's perspective. That's a good 3-foot drop. Kurt just muscles down it, but here, check out the finesse from the other camera that you just don't see. Burp. He totally wheelied off that thing. He's aimed down and still managed to wheelie off. That's pretty sweet. I like that view on the camera. Comes Curtis coming up. Very nicely done.
I like that eveRide. The old start and stop and route. Oh, come on, Will.
Kalani's just messing around.
Done, man.
But yeah, Will is killing it, dude.
Will, woo! Am I on behind?
Very nice.
No, you're not on.
A common conversation.
We got one button start.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
Am I on or am I
Go
not
ahead.
on? That's just, you know, filming wise, that's just what you do. Anyway, a little rock to wrap off. Here's Gabe's view of the murder there. Burp.
Gabe, you want to come up ahead of me?
So there's, you know, me obviously saying, hey Gabe, you want to come up ahead of me? Because I don't recall anybody was ahead, so I wanted to get both cameras running because it was just such a beautiful... Oh, Kurt was ahead of me.
We can go right. Go right. Right. There
So
you go.
here you can hear me yelling at him. So I instructed Kurt to go right. I went right, obviously. That's way
Kalani gotta
easier.
go the crazy way.
Yeah, but Kalani and Gabe went the tough way. And right here, we were actually supposed to go right up that hill over there. And I looked over, because I kind of knew, but I was like, well, I think the trails meet up. You can see Gabe and Kalani. Anyway, the timeline's a little bit jumbled right here. We're going through the sand here, and I crashed like right there. Anyway, here's Gabe going up that big obstacle that I told Kurt to go right on, and that I took a right. You can see where the trail went to the side, to the right side there. I love sand. I know a lot of people hate sand. I love it. And I also like sandstone. It's just really cool. Because everything is a little ramp. Here's Gabe. He's like, oh, I'm just going to take like the manly way up. Doesn't show on camera, but that's a good 2 feet high. He just muscles up. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, I knew that we weren't on Slick Rock Trail anymore, and these trails are so windy. They're easy to get lost on, but I knew we weren't on Slick Rock anymore because there's not a lot of sand on
Slick Rock
Slick
anymore.
Rock. Yeah, obviously. Because the mountain bikers who do Slick Rock,
actually.
they don't want to ride through sand, obviously. I mean, it's tough on a mountain bike. So anyway, I was trying to get Kurt's attention, and I was telling Gabe that we weren't on Slick Rock. Give him the old rev, and you know what? I was focusing on something different. I think I was in third gear. So a third gear stall and a nice little crash there. Here's Gabe's witnessing it. It wasn't that bad of a fall, but it's kind of a little roll. But you guys check this out. This is Gabe for you, dude. He sees that the bike's down. He wants to come over and help you. And I'm reaching down to pick it up, and he's like, picks it up for me before I even got to the back of the bike to help him. That's the kind of guy that Gabe is. And then he takes the bike down the hill, puts the kickstand down for me. Like, seriously, such a good guy. So I went up, and I picked up his bike.
Go ahead of me. You go.
Anyway, Gabe is just a really good
Go.
bike. That was like
You
the one nice thing I did that day is I picked up Gabe's bike because he came and picked up mine.
Neutral.
Anyway, it's funny when you have just a little,
really
little
fun right
crash.
here.
Even when you have a little crash like that, it still kind of sucks some of the bravery out of you. What's kind of a bummer, actually it's a huge bummer, but as you'll notice, my camera's pointed a lot more down than it normally is. After the crash, you saw the camera come off in the footage, and upon reconnecting my camera, I didn't do a good job, so it's pointed a little bit down. There's that helium front wheel again. Anyway, yeah, here comes Gabe through the trench there. I love this little trench, man. I can't get enough of it. It's so cool. It's like a little half pipe. I want to find more things like that. Anyway, here's Gabe cruising through. We decided to take a little break on this hill, get the drone out, do a little filming. But it got really windy and quite stormy up here, actually. I'll talk to you more about that in a second, but... Anyway, so this is funny, because this is actually the other group. And they were doing Hell's Revenge while we did Slick Rock. We didn't know. We didn't coordinate with them, but they decided to do that. And that is the main obstacle of Hell's Revenge. It's a really steep hill. So kind of cool. Plus, that's a far way away, and it was pretty awesome that that camera could reach out and like get them, you know, and you know, apply a little stabilization. It looks really good. There's Gabe and Kalani doing some wheelies. If you look back at that clip of Gabe sliding to a stop, you can see that his wheel's flat. Here's Gabe's camera, just a little behind the scenes for you guys. Just kind of unclipping, getting everything ready. There I'm pulling the Mavic out. You know, these are the kind of shots that will never make it, but I thought they'd, you know, it's just kind of what's going on behind the scenes.
All right. Wait one.
So it was pretty windy.
Okay.
So I kept telling everybody to wait, but finally it was time to go. So
All right.
anyway, this is kind of cool. You see the clap. So Gabe and Kalani did a dual vlog, and that was Mr. Schmaz that just rode by there. But yeah, the wind was pretty serious right here. This is kind of cool. So Kalani just checked Gabe's camera, and there's that same clap. So clapping, that's why you clap, so that you can sync up the footage and all that stuff. I'm obviously not going to sync up the footage because I don't have Kalani's footage, but it is kind of cool. That's why people clap. If you've ever wondered, that's why there's the ka-ka-ka. Anyway, these guys were actually supposed to go a different way than they did. They were supposed to go left through that little luge thing, which would have been really cool, but they missed the turn, and you know what? I didn't mind at all because, I mean, this way is just as good. There's really not any place that's going to be worse than another. So, as you can see, I'm kind of having a hard time with the drone. It was really windy, and this is a very stable drone in the wind. But, you know, I'm trying not to overshoot them. And the thing is, if you overshoot them a little bit, the wind will carry the drone a little bit farther than you can go. See, you can see there the trails converge right there. There's the slick rock to the right, and I believe fins to the left. And that's even fins that they're on right now. You can see the little, well, maybe not fins, but it's one with a yellow arrow on it. I think fins is a white arrow. Kind of confusing, but anyway, this footage right here is just awesome. And it's funny because it just looks like they're on like cement, you know what I mean? Like smooth cement, but really there's a nice wheelie from Gabe. Had to turn on the sport mode. I should just get in a habit of turning on sport mode in the beginning because I tend to lose a lot of footage, you know, having people be pretty backed off. You know, the drone's pretty backed off and it's a fairly wide angle lens. So I should just be ready to get up right next to people. The tricky thing about sport mode is that it turns like all of the controls to like maximum, and so any little flick of the yaw of turning the drone like there, and it's a pretty exaggerated flick there, and it's not as smooth as I'd like it to be. You know that we want a drone to look really smooth, and when it flicks the yaw like that, it's just not desirable. You know what I mean? So that's yaw right there. Anyway, it was pretty cool because, you know, with all this sandstone and not a lot of trees or anything like that, you get pretty good signal. However, when you get down low, like I'm getting on these guys, you can lose signal sometimes. So most of the times in the drone footage, when you see it like really go down farther than it should be, or where it's just not even looking at people, I've usually lost signal. And you know, first of all, it's super scary because you don't want to lose signal. So right here, I lost signal. So I activated return to home, and it turned towards me, and it's flying towards me. So anyway, here it is, flying towards me. That's nothing special. But once again, the scenery, the landscape in and of itself could kind of hold its own. You know what I mean? It just looks, it's just really, really cool out there. There's not another place like it that I've ever been. Anyway, so here is Gabe's part of that dual vlog that they were doing. So he's following Mr. Schmaz, but if you rewind and check out where the drone was flying ahead, you can kind of see what's going on down here and kind of see them up in your head. Oh, nice. They get a little air off of that. It's so funny, though, because from the drone, you could barely see them get their wheels off of the ground. But on the ground, you can see that they're really, like, hot dogging, you know? Like, they're really, like, you know, their tires are just always in the air. They're always doing awesome stuff.
Whoa!
There's Gabe almost going off the side of that edge.
Almost flew off the rock, but I'm good.
That's one thing that the wide-angle lens does, is it distorts how steep things are on the side. And so, like, really steep things will look steep. I mean, basically, it's just all a perspective things, but
now I'm
you can kind of never trust a wide-angle lens. But it's kind of sketchy because these guys got off the track. They got off the track, and so, you know, they were just kind of going where the tires had been. But here you can see them. I believe they got back on fins and things, where that kind of connects. And luckily,
did you guys do any riding up north?
Luckily, they found themselves back on Slick Rock right here.
Oh man, I want to get up there.
And so they were able to kind of pick their way back, and that's lucky because honestly, it's kind of a maze out there, and the only real like reference point you have is the mountains. And so, you know, the mountains are a certain direction, but really it's...
Dude, whenever you get me involved with the drone, you know things aren't gonna go well.
Gabe's commenting there that he gets lost a lot. Oh, there's that difficulty starting on the 450. Anyway, yeah, Gabe, like, I'll be like, hey, Gabe, go this way or go that way when I'm getting him on the drone. And sometimes it's just the two of us. And it's really funny because I'll tell him where something cool is, and he'll go and he'll totally, like, blow by it because he's just so fast. Anyway, he always rides, like, really entertaining.
On this trail, first gear's like all day on this bike.
Yeah, that taller gear ratio is makes things pretty easy. But it does bug me that the camera's pointed so low. Because this was some great footage. I mean, this was great riding right here. I love this part of the trail. Lots of little wheelies and lifts and lips.
Oh no!
There's a rare mistake from Mr. Schmaz.
Trust the grip.
Yeah. Really, you can get like ridiculously off camber on this stuff and you'll still find grip.
Oh no!
There's another stall on the 450X. And it's just doesn't like to start after it stalls like that. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure if I use the hot start. I'm not sure, you know what I mean? It just turns into kind of a finicky bike. Anyway, as we were riding around, we actually, Kurt and Curtis and Will decided to go the other way. And so we separated from them. So here's Kurt cruising along, and they actually got a little bit lost too, it looks like. Here he is, he got back on Slick Rock. Now, the funny thing is Slick Rock is a loop, and so if you get on Slick Rock and you go the wrong way, you might just be going backwards. And the funny thing is things on Slick Rock Trail are so, yeah, you can see Kurt just wheeling off of everything. But things on Slick Rock Trail are so different. We're back to us now, and I'm snapping a picture of Kalani by the river. It got so windy. Anyway, things look so similar. It's all very, very the same.
Oh man.
The wind is like blowing us off of that off camber right there, and it literally drops into a chasm. Anyway, you know, so going on this trail one way, you wouldn't recognize hardly anything going on the trail the other way if you went the other direction on the loop. So anyway, Kurt and those guys got pretty lost, and funny thing is we actually ended up running into them up here, which is kind of a stroke of luck.
Is so fierce.
Yeah, you can you know, we're not moving very fast, but you can hear the wind in my mic, and it's just as loud as if I was traveling, you know, 40, 50 miles an hour on the road.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so they're a little bit lost. So yeah, this is Kurt's camera again. So yeah, this is funny. We're cruising along, and then
there they are.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Really lucky to run into them again. So here's some of the footage that Gabe got as we were all kind of traveling in our little crew when it was really windy. A little bit of rear camera footage. Yeah, you can tell it looks a lot better when somebody's close. It's a tricky one though, because if they get too close, they drop out of the bottom of the frame. Sometimes it's not the best looking footage, even when it is stabilized. See right there, that's just a little bit too far away from my taste. The hard part is I can stabilize it in post-production, but then it warps everything. It makes everything look really jello-y and weird. So I like to avoid doing that as much as possible. See how good that looks when he's nice and close? That's just really cool. So you can hear that wind just blasting. It's just nice with the mountains in the background there. And here's a really cool overlook thing. This looks really nice. I parked my bike down
We're
there.
at one of the most legendary viewpoints ever. Colby's checking out his phone.
Colby's
What
a
you
cool
got on
guy.
there? Anything good?
Yeah. Good Snapchats.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I wish I would have looked out there for a little longer, not moved my head around.
This is the tubeless tire in action. 0 PSI. Look at that bad boy. Look how it's gripping right there.
That's pretty
We've
cool.
been riding 0 PSI for a couple of days, and that tire hasn't slipped at all. It's a little bit bangy on the rim on the rocks, but it's good grip.
Yeah, by the end of the trip,
pretty legendary.
like I said, by the end of the trip, it's just like the rim had no damage on it. That tubeless totally saved the rim. It totally saved the trip. Because there, you know, we didn't want to replace the tire. And it was a good test. I felt really good after that test. You know, I feel like the tubeless, they're a good product, you know. Because if you get a flat, you can still ride on it through some pretty gnarly stuff. And actually, we went a long way on the road with it flat as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really cool. Anyway, here's following Colby. I had to ask Colby several times to slow down a little bit because he's really fast. And so, you know, if I'm going to get any good footage on the camera,
Yeah, this is where we're supposed to go
I want
when
to...
Kurt went off the track.
Yeah, so this is coming
where it
down
meets
that
up
route.
again.
Anyway, so I wanted to, yeah, I just want to make sure people are close.
Oh yeah.
That's really
I hope that was on
irritating.
camera because I felt awesome, Gabe.
Anyway, here to, these guys went to the right here.
Wait, this is Hell's Revenge. Where's my horn? No horn.
Good old-fashioned burp, burp, burp.
I guess they're gonna go the wrong way.
Yeah,
I guess
it's always
we
a
could
bummer.
go back that way. This is the way that I know, though.
Let's go with no good.
I like the know where we going way, so I'm gonna go this way.
Might be faster, but I don't know that.
I don't know either. That might be the whole Hell's Revenge loop. I don't know. So let's go the way I know.
So that's the tricky part, is the Hell's Revenge loop right there. You might be going backwards
I can
on
watch
Hell's
your
Revenge
tire
loop.
bounce from side to side.
Anyway, it ended up that Kalani and Colby came back to us, which was good.
Take a right, take a right, take a right,
So-
and you get a cliff.
Yeah, that if you go left there, that literally is, you'll fall to your death.
That's a
It's
cool
super
shot right
sketchy.
there for sure.
I thought that shot would be a lot better than it was because I thought my camera was angled up. It had the sky and the mountains and everything, but it was angled down. Dang it. So many things that can go wrong with a camera when you're doing stuff like this. Like you noticed with Kurt's camera, everything was good
Hold up,
except
this
for his
guy's coming
audio.
down.
His audio was the thing having problems. So something was just disconnecting a little bit. You know, audio was shifting from the left and right channels. I like that shot there because it contrasts against the sky. I don't know if I'll like it enough that it'll end up in the final video, but anyway, yeah. Here's cruising down through that that little half-pipe canyon that I love. Love canyons like that. There's Gabe cruising along again. His front tire's just filled with helium. I don't know how he keeps it on the ground. It must be tough. Yeah, coming around that bend. That would just be so beautiful if I had another X3000 and could point it backwards. You know, because the stabilization on the X3000 is so good. And it still keeps the lens pretty wide.
Technically should give us the right of way, but is that our guys?
So here's a guy just riding solo coming down.
All right, let's rock up this thing.
I don't know why I kept that in there. I mean, it's definitely not going in the main thing, but maybe it's just show right away. I don't know.
Puddle.
Anyway, just cruising up there, and here's the rear view of that same thing. Gabe went through the puddle and muscles up the hill there.
It's Clutchville.
Now this is that switchback, and I hope you can see the perspective here. So you come around here, and here is very, very off camber to the right. And then that's really steep right there, really steep. And so it's an off camber
That's so freaking sketchy.
to another off camber turn.
You know, it's like a bike if it goes down, you know?
Yeah, your bike will be jacked if it falls down.
This bike's gonna tip over with the wind, I know it.
It actually didn't.
Feel
Anyway,
the
there's
grip.
Mr. Schmaz coming up, there's Gabe coming up. So yeah, they both kind of went through the rut in the middle. It's probably a
Kalani,
better
you
way to
came up
go.
This right here, what the crap?
Yeah, baby. That's what we're talking about.
You got it, buddy.
All right, so here's Kurt. And you actually don't even have to cruise up and make the turn. You can just go straight up there, which is a little bit more of a hill climb, but it is much less of a sketchy thing. So here's Will going up, and he he actually stops in the worst place for Curtis, who's right behind him. Curtis almost goes down there. That would have been sketch. Anyway, so yeah, Will just decides to cruise right up. You can see how steep it is right there because he started a loop. His front wheel came up. There's Kalani, good guy, running up there to help him up.
Oh, dude.
Give him a little front wheel drive so he doesn't go down. So, okay, so we're out there quite a ways, and there's just this cute girl running the trail in sandals.
Now I feel all weak sauce.
Yeah, we, you know, mountain bikes, it's like, yeah, but running, you know, I like having a motor.
It's not showing up on the camera how steep some of this stuff is.
Yeah, it just never will.
Everybody will just have to take my word for it.
I wish there was a better way to show it. I don't think any camera would really work unless you like exaggerated the angle and cheated a little, which, you know, I'll exaggerate some things, like I'll speed up some clips a little bit here and there, like 1/10 of the way, just so they kind of fit a little better. And in, you know, high action, high speed clips, you know, it just kind of flows a little bit better when there's just a little more speed to it. So I'll fudge my videos that way sometimes. I mean, none of it's fudged on this, but like in the final clip video from the last video I released, you know, some of those were fudged only by about 10%, because people can't really tell when it's 10%, and it's not enough that it's ridiculous. It's actually, you know, it's pretty close to the same speed.
Out, Tyler.
So anyway, yeah, I'll fudge it sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit that. It just works better. It looks better in video, because sometimes you feel like you're going faster than it looks on camera, especially in the rear view camera. I don't know what's up with that, but the rear view camera makes it look like people are going slow. There's Kalani with a nice brap off of that thing, and there we are, back to the parking lot. You can kind of see what happens behind the scenes here. It's always like a frantic rush to get the main camera out when people are coming. There it is, quick, you know, fires up really quick, but then you get shots like this that are really good. I might apply a little stabilization to that. If that's in 4K, I might actually zoom it in a little bit. But here, oh, Kurt does a nice little wheelie off of that. So sweet. But anyway, yeah, I just love shots like that. That's, you know, besides the drone, that's just, it's kind of my favorite thing. Anyway, here we are in the parking lot.
Or a thumbs up or something. Yeah.
So the ride's over. We just got to ride back to Grandma's house. Give a little fist bump there. I love those shots. I love fist bumps.
We haven't been robbed.
Anyway, so Gabe left his trailer unlocked to his car.
The socks are the great deterrent.
All we had there was our
Throw
stinky
these in the back.
socks
I think we're done for the day.
hanging over
At least I am.
the ball hitch there, and so hopefully that would deter criminals from stealing his trailer there. Anyway, the little house to the left there, that's called Grandma's house.
Welcome back to Grandma's house, where all the grandmas live.
It's not a very nice.
Actually, no grandmas live here, but maybe they did at one time in history.
Anyway, it's not a really nice place, to be honest, but a lot of guys can stay there, and it's $160 a night, I believe, which is a ton. I mean, that's a lot of money for, you know, that place. It's not a very nice place. However, when you know you got 10 guys in there, that becomes pretty reasonable for everybody.
Kalani, if you want to pull your bike over here, we'll link them all up with a chain thing.
Anyway, yeah, so we'd park in the backyard, and
was
then we'd
good,
chain
you
all the bikes
guys.
up.
I'm done, but that was good.
Oh, that was fun.
That was a good trail. I'm so glad we did the trail, dude. Holy cow.
A little photo.
Anyway, guys, so that is the end. My goodness, you've hung around for nearly an hour. The one that'll go on the main channel, it might be a little less lengthy and just a little less personal. You know, I'll probably just tell more about the day. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I really, really appreciate you guys as patrons. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of these trips without you guys. It's much easier to stay home and help my wife take care of the kids. She needs that help. And also, you know, spending money, you know, to get out to Moab, spending money on the bikes for maintenance and stuff like that. It ended up being an expensive trip, even though it's within the state. That's just the way it is sometimes. But anyway, guys, it's because of you that I'm able to do trips like this. Hopefully I'll be able to do some bigger trips coming up in the future. But I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. And really, from my family and from my wife and from myself, thank you so much. And I really, really look forward to seeing as many of you guys can come to the after rally as possible. Well, anyway, that's it for me. We're at 55 minutes. Much love, you guys. Tyler out.